everyone. Today I get to taste and dip my toes for the first time into a band that I've heard the name bouncing around. I understand it's a big name and one of the you can't miss and you certainly need to get to know them names, and that is acdc. Well, the song that I'm listening first is Thunderstruck, so that could be interesting. Let me read a bit first, and then we'll do the listening. acdc are an Australian rock band formed in 1973. Their music has been variously described as hard rock, blues rock, and heavy metal, but the band simply calls it rock and roll. You know, I have to kind of agree with them as I'm exploring all these different bands, subgenres, and we've talked about all the different ways of categorizing and dividing and identifying. When it comes down to it, sometimes it's smart just to keep it simple. And so maybe that's a good thing. Just simply rock and roll. They are cited as a formative influence on the new wave of British heavy metal bands such as Def Leppard and Saxon. Okay, so Australians are now influencing the Brits. acdc were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003. Several musicians have credited acdc for reasserting hard rock's popularity after it had ceded mainstream attention to other musical genres in the late 1970s. They ranked number 4 on VH1's list of the 100 greatest artists of hard rock, and number 7 on MTV's greatest heavy metal bands of all time. They ranked number 23 on VH1's list of the 100 greatest artists of all time in 2010. Yes, so I'm right. I did kind of get the right impression that this is a big band. They sold over 1.3 million CDs in the US during 2007 alone. As of 2023, the band's RIAA US sales figures are 75 million, making acdc the 5th best-selling band in US history and the 10th best-selling artist, selling more albums than Pink Floyd and Mariah Carey. That's kind of impressive. Thunderstruck was released as the lead single from their 1990 album, The Razor's Edge. I'm listening to these names. acdc, that's about electricity. Thunderstruck, okay. And then The Razor's Edge, I feel like they're going towards edgy names, edgy titles. It peaked at number 4 on the Australian ARIA singles chart, number 1 in Finland, and number 5 on the US Billboard Album Rock Tracks chart. In 2010, Thunderstruck topped Triple M Melbourne's Ultimate 500 Rock Countdown in Australia. The top 5 were all acdc songs. The Aussies love acdc, I take it. Thunderstruck is widely considered one of the band's best songs. In 2020, The Guardian ranked the song number 8 on its list of the 40 greatest acdc songs, and in 2021, the British rock magazine Kerrang ranked the song number 6 on its list of the 20 greatest acdc songs. I'm starting with a pretty good one then, at least according to all the rankings. Let's see how it sounds to my ears. I like the build-up of this one. I like Well, this little guitar thing. Well, sure, we could say it's kind of like rain falling, but actually, as I'm listening to it, my instinct is to say it sounds like a toccata. It has that rapid fingerwork feel to it, which is very technical and you have to just really be on it all the way through. And then of course this voice coming in. Thunder. And where is this thunder coming from? And then the drums come in and things start pulsing more, and it's such a smooth build up. It's not the kind of build up that makes me feel like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. It's more like I am out and I see a storm rolling in, and it gets closer and closer and closer. It was, way off in the distance, and I could just hear it or smell it, but now it's coming closer and closer and closer. Let's go back. I haven't gone too far through this. I want to hear that again, and then we'll keep going. Kind of like the wind picking up. And then the drums come in. With the pulsing of the bass. Okay, is this voice a male or female? Is it a Janis Joplin or is it somebody else? I mean, it's hard. I couldn't say one way or the other.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. Okay, I assume that's male. But it has that real rough, raw sound to it that I associate with someone like Janis Joplin. Or what's that other blues singer?
Louis Armstrong.
That's it. Yeah, it's the Janis Joplin, the Louis Armstrong. It's this really rough and rustic, earthy blues voice. It's hoarse.
Well, you just added one more name to your catalog of this kind of voice.
Okay, so this is his signature sound. All right, well, that'll be fun to explore. expected after sound of the drums, I expected to hear the drums go thunder, but it didn't. It was just the voice.
Sound of the drums
Guitar.
beating in my heart. The thunder of guns tear me apart. You've been thunderstruck.
So interesting. Up until this point, I felt like it's been talking about, an event of nature, a thunderstorm, something, and then suddenly things are twisting. The thunder of guns tore me apart, and that brings in a whole different set of ideas to the piece just with that simple line. And already we have this wonderful setup, and so. Even though this isn't the end of the piece, I feel like it's kind of like some of those short stories where you get all into the story and then at the very last sentence or two, something changes and the whole thing is a surprise ending, and you suddenly think, wait, I have to go back and read that story again. I'm not going to go back right now, but at least not that far.
You've been thunderstruck. Walk down the highway, broke the limit, we hit the top. Went through to Texas, yeah, Texas, and we had some fun. We met some girls, some dancers who gave a good time. Broke all the rules, played all the fools, yeah, yeah. They blew our mind. Now we're shaking at the knees. Could have killed
Ooh,
me
that was
in
nice.
Yeah, the ladies want your kind. You've been thunderstruck.
So let me go back through. I noticed something here which jumped out at me.
They blew our mind. Now we're shaking.
Yeah. So the first time you hear that, dee da dum, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop.
They blew our mind. Now we're shaking at the knees. Could have killed me.
And then after that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But just a simple little addition like that really, really has an impact in the moment, doesn't it?
They blew our mind. Now we're shaking at the knees. Could have killed me in please. Yeah, the ladies want your kind. You've been thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. Yeah, 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 thunderstruck. Thunderstruck.
And now that I'm listening to the guitar, my ears are drawn that way now, and this happening now is kind of taking off that little da dum bum bum. Listen.
Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, thunderstruck.
Let's do
Thunderstruck.
that. Okay, I had forgotten about that. By this point in the song, I forgot about that at the opening. What a great way to bring it back and kind of pull me back to the start of the piece. That's like the lightning striking, isn't it? Okay, I guess I liked it more than I expected. Um, it it has this sort of, well, as I said, it's a raw power. It's a raw power, and there's this primal feeling to it that comes pouring out, even at the beginning, as things are building, and then you have these voices coming in with their repeated line, and it almost feels like it could even be a rain song, a rain dance, where you're calling the storm in, and you're doing a ceremony to make the rain come. You know, we're out in the middle of the desert in, I don't know, backcountry of Australia or Texas or wherever you want to be, and you need rain, and everything is dry and gritty and crisp, and you're desperate for rain. So what to do? Everybody comes together, and you have this, you know, rain dance, rain ceremony. I liked the opening so well. I'm going to listen to it one more time with that in mind. In the distance, you hear the chanting coming in. This is coming from the surroundings and gathering together. Getting into formation. Call for the thunder. pulsing bass entered at just the perfect moment. Yeah, there's this real primal feeling. Of course, as I said, it doesn't stick with the idea of just a natural weather event, but it sets us in this space where that is the feel that we get is exposed to the elements and kind of superstitiously connected to the elements as well. There's so much that it just brings into play here. And then it takes us other places in that context. Really nicely done. I love the way also that it plays with this word thunderstruck and the meaning of thunderstruck and kind of does a few word games with it. And by the time we get to the end, you've been thunderstruck. And you have multiple different ways of interpreting that. It has the same sort of power and energy that I remember with Kashmir. That one also gave me this feeling. Well, they're very different in their sound worlds. I'm not saying they're the same kind of music per se, but again, we're just talking music here and the where it takes you. And I feel like the two have some similarities. It's been a while since I listened to Kashmir. I feel like I should go back and listen. I enjoyed that one, and I always enjoyed listening to it. But somehow I got off of it for a while. I should go check it out again. Well, what a great piece of music. I don't even want to talk about the different stylistic strands, blues, this, that, the other, because it all came together so well and was so impactful on its own. I don't feel like it would be productive to really talk about that. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that this voice, what was his name?
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson now goes in my collection along with Janis Joplin and Louis Armstrong, and it's not the kind of voice that I find myself listening to a lot. But there's something special about this kind of voice. Something special, something arresting and riveting, and it grabs you. And sometimes it's nice to sit down and just immerse yourself in it. I feel like this piece has the kind of energy that would be great for doing a really good house cleaning or something, like company's coming over, let's get this done before we're all thunderstruck. That was fun. I enjoyed it. My first introduction to acdc's music. I'm sure I will come back to them in the future.
Well, since you've been thunderstruck now.
Since I've been there we go. I'm thunderstruck. Well, so there we have acdc's Thunderstruck. I enjoyed it. I will see you all soon.